let's get started with the Nets Sixers last night. So this was the game, right? It would have been a little bit bigger had Ben Simmons been on the court, not just for pregame, although Sixers fans milked it for all it was worth with his pregame and the booing, and there was not a warm welcome for Ben Simmons yesterday. But what a great thing for the NBA, how it all went down. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm a huge villain guy. I'm way into villains. I Wear the Black Hat, great book by Chuck Klosterman about our obsession with villains. But what I believe fundamentally about villains is that they make the story compelling. They give it depth. They give the main characters something to overcome. And when you have an incredible villain, it makes the win that much more powerful. So after the Nets-Sixers game last night, I went and saw Batman, which is getting different reviews. Very long, very long. 3 hours, guys, is like 20, 30 minutes short. I would have done it. But excellent job. Zoe's incredible. I'm in love. It was a great movie. But what we love about Batman is that Batman isn't really a superhero, right? He's just a regular guy who goes out there and does his vigilante thing, and he, saves the city of Gotham by his own will and strength, and obviously a lot of funds provided by his family, whose name he's trying to defend. So what does Batman have to do with the Nets Sixers last night? Villains. All anyone ever complains about in the NBA is that everybody's friends. It's all AAU mentality, all these super teams, everyone's getting together. Last night was a great example of how a little bit of rivalry, a little bit of animosity can go a long way. Everyone was watching. You couldn't turn away. Even though it was a blowout, it was so compelling. And look, I try to not start every show that I fill in for Colin by, upsetting Philadelphia fans, which I always do an amazing job of. I'm sorry, guys. I actually love the city of Philadelphia. And I didn't have a problem with how Sixers fans reacted. And in general, I like the idea that you can make things uncomfortable for the away team. It should be a disadvantage to play on the road. And yes, things were spicy in Philadelphia, and Sixers fans were not welcoming of Ben Simmons. But, how enriching that was when the Nets go out there and get that win. It was spectacular. Now, look, KD, I think, is the best player on the planet when he's healthy and out there. I mean, we can argue Giannis, we can discuss LeBron, and I'm not going to freak out about either of those arguments. But KD was incredible. I don't think that this one particular win changes the season for the Nets. Now, there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and Ben Simmons is still going to get out there. But they're building for next year, in my opinion. The Sixers are more ready to win right now. So I'm not going to overreact emotionally or even on the court to what happened last night. And Harden is a whole different conversation. The biggest takeaway, the important thing is now we have a real rivalry. We have something that fans can get involved in emotionally, and it makes sense. What if this is a first-round series, which is entirely possible? How great is that going to be? It's the constant critique of super teams. It's the constant critique of NBA superstars wanting out. And this is an example of that. James Harden goes to the Sixers, Ben Simmons to the Nets. They play on the road. It's a hostile environment. Fans are booing. KD gets the opportunity to shut them all up on the court, which is the best part of sports. When you have these rivalries, when you have these intense environments and everyone has an opinion and there's all these stories off the court and more stuff is coming out and leaks and sources. And then you get down to the game and it's man against man in a hostile environment, and it's a compelling blowout. What is better than that? KD bragged after the game, had a little bit of petty, talking about how he shut the fans up. And I don't mind it at all. I think you deserve to be able to gloat in that situation. You're the winner. The Sixers fans did all they could to make things impossible and difficult for a player that wasn't even on the court, for that matter. But I loved every second of last night. I love when villains are able to thrive, and when players and organizations lean in to being villains. I hate to make everything about the Miami Heat, but, well, whatever. The big three in Miami were some of the best villains in all of sports. The entire sports world hated that team, hated that organization. They even tried to convince people that they hated the city of Miami, which is an absolute joke. But leaning into being the villain, You don't have to like us. We're still going to come out here and beat you. We're going to rise. We're going to fall. That is what is so compelling about this. That's what makes rivalry so fun. And so even if you aren't on a side here, even if this wasn't one of your teams you were watching last night, you got to enjoy just the sheer pettiness of the situation. I love it. I'm here for it. And moving forward, if this is the first round series, it's going to be an incredible one. Lean into being the villain. It's okay. Everybody doesn't have to always like you. You don't have to be beloved in every arena that you walk into, but just go in and play on the court and win. And that's exactly what the Nets did last night. Again, I think the Sixers are the better team overall right now, but there's still some basketball to be played. And that was an amazing night and really actually a good thing for the NBA. So we have some movement with the quarterback positions, and the drama that has ensued over the past year with the Packers, we've all followed. We all were on the strings waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make his decision. I'm fine with it. I'm here for the content. Trust me. This past month has been incredible with stories and everything that's gone on. But we also got movement with Russell Wilson, who started similarly to Aaron Rodgers last year, talking about how unhappy he was. And now he is with the Denver Broncos. We're seeing more and more an NBA superstar type of environment for NFL star quarterbacks. Before everyone starts freaking out, this forcing your way out thing is only going to apply to the star quarterbacks before everyone gets crazy. When you're Russell Wilson, when you're Aaron Rodgers, when you have that kind of ability to put that kind of pressure on an organization, you can make those things happen. If you're a middle of the road guy, you're going to play where somebody's going to give you a check. But the movement with these quarterbacks and non-movement by Aaron Rodgers after all the drama both have the same effect, which is they brought an incredible amount of attention to not only both of their careers and resumes, but what's going to happen moving forward. Because for the last two Super Bowls, we have what's the beginning of a trend, which is Tom Brady leaving New England, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with obviously a lot of talent, but a losing organization, and winning immediately that year. What happens the year after it? Matthew Stafford leaves a losing organization, goes to the Rams, who are overall a winning organization, but needed to level up in a difficult division. What happens? Super Bowl. Well, now you have an entire year's worth of drama with Aaron Rodgers, but he stays. An entire year's worth of drama with Russell Wilson, and he leaves. And now the pressure is on. For Aaron Rodgers, I believe it's just you drummed all this up to end up saying, you asked for all this opportunity, you asked for all this power, and the ending of this last season for him was a catastrophe. So back-to-back MVPs for your season to end that way, I believe he needs to win another Super Bowl to cement his legacy. Before this, I didn't feel that way. But after everything that's happened, he needs another Super Bowl. If Russell Wilson similarly had stayed with Seattle and spent his entire career there, I don't know that we would look at his career that differently if he didn't add another Super Bowl. But now he's moved, and we have the trend of Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford to evaluate what happens when a star quarterback goes to a talented roster in their first year. Now, if neither one of these guys win a Super Bowl next year, is it the end of the world? No. But the pressure moving forward every year of their career because of the way that they have handled this past year is on them. And that's what happens. When you kick up a bunch of drama, when you kick up a bunch of dirt, people are going to pay more attention to what it is you're doing. And when you demand certain things, the expectations come with it. Now, I don't know that I put that much faith in what's going on in Green Bay because they're up against the cap and the roster moves they're going to have to make. And the fact that, I don't know, they were the number one team in the NFC and lost in their first playoff game to a wild card team. I don't know that I'm putting that much faith in them getting to the Super Bowl this year. But Aaron Rodgers is a back-to-back MVP. We'll see. Russell Wilson, however, is the one that's in the Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady category. He needs to level this team up immediately. Maybe not necessarily win a Super Bowl. Those are hard to do. But the jump that the Denver Broncos have to take this year because of Russell Wilson's move is significant. Now, look, franchise quarterbacks always have pressure on them. This isn't news. But when you put this extra emphasis on, I want this and I'm going to move here, and you make the drama happen and make us talk about it every single day, we're going to pay more attention to what it is you're doing and what it is that's happening year by year when you make these moves. I can't wait for it. I think it's amazing for the NFL. And the best part of these two quarterbacks making the decisions that they did is that it once again flies in the face that everything is all and it's panic and chaos. Aaron Rodgers did all that and stayed with the organization that drafted him. Russell Wilson did all that, and he moved. There's different ways to build organizations. There's different ways to win. There's different ways to get what you want accomplished. But the thing that they both did was raise the expectations for the next few years of their career.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.